Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Abay on Cars, episode 10, the 10th episode of this show. And today we got some news covering on one of the latest automotive news as usual. So let's get into it. Okay, so first off today, I want to probably start with the new Mercedes-Benz G-Class Edition 550. So Mercedes released a new G-Class, but it's limited edition, and I guess it's going to be only made up to 550. Yep, 550 of these will be built, as the name suggests. And here with the pictures, we can see this is like a red G-Class with black bits and a roll bar, I think these are called, or a roll cage, blacked out accents, so I can see probably headlights are blacked out, these turn signals. You can also get a white and a gray one, and the interior has some interesting color schemes. I don't think you can get that in a normal G-Wagon. Oh, so only 200 will be built, not 550. Yeah, 200. My bad. So it's not 550, it's 200 worldwide. So it's very, very rare and limited. So these will probably cost quite a bit. So this G-Wagon is based on a G550 model. So it gets a 4-liter turbocharged V8 that's good for 416 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque. And you can expect the exteriors to 3 colors: Jupiter Red, Arabian Grey, and Moonlight White. So these are all the cars that we see here in the images. I would probably go for the grey one. I think the red and the white just showcase too much of these black accents. So yeah. And the Moonlight White is a new manufacturer color released for the special edition. And yeah, Mercedes is gonna only make 200 of these 550 models. So it's as I said, it's very, very rare. I'm not sure how much this is going to cost, but if I had all the money in the world, I probably wouldn't buy this. I would just get a normal G-Wagon. I don't know, buying a limited edition G-Class is a bit stupid for me, and I'm not really a big fan of the G-Class anyway. So I'm pretty sure this costs more than normal G-Class because it's limited and it's rare. So this will cost maybe over 200k. A properly spec G-Class costs 165,000 pounds. This will cost over 200,000, I think, but I'm not sure. Although, if you buy this, it will hold its value because this is limited edition. So in the future, it might appreciate, not depreciate, who knows, or maybe just depreciate slower than a normal G-Class. I mean, after all, we know G-Classes, they do depreciate quite slowly. They are actually good cars to hold value. But I think this one will hold its value better than a normal G-Class. So this is maybe something to invest in if you like it. But yeah. Next up, I want to talk about the new Aston Martin DBX with the new 707 model. And 707 symbolizes the fact that it has a 707 horsepower. And here we get an image, as you can see, pretty much looks like a normal DBX. I mean, here we get a more aggressive diffuser. We get more aggressive grille, more aggressive bumpers. And yeah, this is the fastest production SUV on Earth, apparently. Yeah, I mean, I think it has the most power, so yeah. And it has an AMG engine, turbocharged V8, making 697 horsepower and 663 pound-feet of torque. And Aston Martin has been using AMG V8s for a while now. In fact, Aston Martin has been using a lot of these Mercedes AMG engines in their cars. And again, I'm not sure. I think, is this limited edition? It's a special edition, I guess, of the DBX. If you want a faster, cooler DBX, this is the one to go with. Like with the G-Wagon, I'm not really a fan of the DBX. I think it's just a bit too shouty. Maybe if I had all the money in the world, I would get a Rolls-Royce Cullinan or maybe a Bentley Bentayga This is a sporty SUV. After all, it's focused on sporting driving dynamics. Rolls-Royce Colonel is focused on luxury and comfort. So maybe I'll just save a couple of money and get a Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT. So yeah, this is the new DBX. I have nothing much to say about it. I'm not sure about the price. I'll pop up in the screen probably. Let's talk about Gran Turismo 7, because Gran Turismo 7 is pretty much coming out tomorrow whenever this video is going to be posted. Yeah, it's coming out soon. It's already March. The official release date is on 4th of March. And here's something interesting. You're going to be able to Frankenstein a 911 GT3 engine into a Volkswagen Beetle, which is quite crazy. So for those of those people who like crazy tuning with their cars, this is for you. I've seen Gran Turismo gameplays, the Gran Turismo 7 gameplays, all the reviews have been saying. So this is cool. And with Gran Turismo 7 and big features, you get way more customization than with Gran Turismo Sport. Not only you're going to be able to change colors and wheels, you're going to be able to add like different body kits, different paint options from official manufacturers. So for example, you're maybe going to be able to put a Mercedes color into a Aston Martin or something. It's different whole levels of customization with Gran Turismo that's going to be available. There's a couple of new cars as well that I've noticed. So there's a new Ferrari FH Buto, I believe. I saw one in the trailer. There's a new Honda Civic Type R Limited. There's a new Mercedes AMG GT Black Series, which is cool. And there's a couple of more new cars. Not the biggest list. There's also a new Toyota Supra. I think it's the 2.0 model, the 2-liter model engine. Yeah, there's a couple of new cars in the game, which I do like, I do appreciate, but it's not a big update. Obviously, in some time soon, Gran Turismo, obviously over time, will add new cars throughout updates, but with Gran Turismo, we have about 400 cars. It's a good list, but I wanted more. But I kind of understand why they weren't able to add a lot of cars, because with Gran Turismo, it's not easy. They have to edge every detail. They have to get everything right. And developing this game and developing the cars, it takes a lot of time. They want to make it as realistic as possible. So it makes sense why there's not a lot of cars. It will take ages for them to 1,000 cars into this game. So yeah, I just hope they'll add some actual good cars throughout the update. And as you can see here in the images, there's a whole different things you're going to be able to change to your cars. So we have here a 911 GT3 997, and you can change high compression pistons, sports suspension, two-way LSDs. What is LSDs? I forgot. Limited slip differentials, sport clutch and flywheels, sport brake kits. This is way better than with Gran Turismo Sport. Way more customization. So this is for those geeks for all those geeks who like to customize their cars and tune them. This game's for you. Look at all of these menus. Now, this is familiar with Gran Turismo Sport. But look, you got ECU tuning, performance adjust, and nitro. Yeah, can't wait to see. Obviously, I don't have this game yet. Who knows, maybe I won't even get one, but I'm very excited for Gran Turismo 7. There have been a couple of more updates of it, like making more the cars to behave more realistically, graphic improvements, obviously, camera shaking, making the camera more realistic, especially if you're driving on the cockpit view. When you hit a curb or you go out of the track, you get camera shaking, which makes it more realistic, which is something definitely Gran Turismo Sport lacked. But anyway, Gran Turismo 7 is exciting, and from the reviews, it's looking pretty good. But let's now move on to something pretty bad, which is BMW halts export of cars to Russia and expects production interruptions. So what I've read from this, if I understand this correctly, we all know what's going on in the world right now. And this is one of the reasons why. Now, it is not because, I think, it is not because Russia and Ukraine are having this crisis. And I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to give you my opinions. I think it's just a too heavy topic to discuss. But you know, we all probably know what's going on right now in Russia. And that's the reason why BMW is stopping production for now with their cars. And you probably heard Apple is not going to sell devices in Russia anymore. Uh, well, what I can say about that is that it's probably because of the crisis with Russia and Putin and stuff. But I'm not going to talk about that. That's another topic. But apparently BMW is stopping production because of this Russia crisis and the Ukraine crisis. There's not enough parts that can be supplied from Russia for the manufacturing process. So they don't have parts. And because Russia's stuck in this crisis in Ukraine, BMW has to stop production. They can't get parts and stuff and goods for their cars to manufacture in their factories. So that's why they have to stop production. So I'm guessing if you bought a BMW or Mini, your car will be delayed. Your delivery will be delayed, unfortunately. And Russia, I know they didn't want to have this. I'm not gonna blame Russia here. Let's just say it's the leader's fault. It's Putin's fault. I think we can all agree on this. Russia has nothing to do with this. The people of Russia, I stand with them. I agree that's not their problem. And it's really hard for Russia, as you know. They don't have access to Apple devices. And I'm pretty sure Apple will bring it back because it's crazy. Apple just can't stop selling devices. It's a bit, too much. But what is essentially going on right now is what I'm guessing Apple technically punished Russia because of this crisis. And for those people who ordered Apple devices, their order is not gonna be stopped or delayed. So this is, it's not looking good. So I just think Putin has to do something about it. I mean, he has to stop the war. I think we all agree with this. The leaders, all the important people, they need to sit down at the table, discuss and find solutions and just enter peace. Because let's agree, none of us want war. We know how it all ends with wars. We want peace. So let's just hope this will all end soon. I stand with Ukraine. I hope that you all stay safe and you stay strong. Let's just all hope this is gonna end as soon as possible and we're all gonna agree to peace. But anyway, speaking of BMW has released a tweaked and updated version of the new M8 competition lineup and A series lineup. So you can now get new color paint options and you can get new bucket carbon seats that you can get in the new M3 and M4 that you saw, some new rim options, and I think new interior trims. And you get an updated screen for your infotainment system for your iDrive. It's a bit bigger now. I believe it's 12 inches, 12.83 inches. So yeah, the 8 series lineup has been updated. There's no tweaks to the engine. It's just purely like a small update. But what's more exciting is, well, again, BMW. BMW iX M60 packs 610 horsepower. This is BMW's answer to, I guess, does it have any competition? Audi e-tron S, and that's it really. Mercedes doesn't have competition. I mean, Tesla Model X Plaid. I think the Tesla Model X Plaid could be the fastest SUV right now. The iX might not be able to stand with it. But this packs serious performance. It has 610 horsepower and 811 pound-feet of torque compared to the iX M50, which has about 530 horsepower. And it goes from 0 to 60 with 3.6 seconds with launch control. That's quite good considering it's heavy because of the batteries. And the efficiency of this car will be about 280 miles, which is 100 miles less estimated than the iX50. So personally, and also it comes with DC fast charging speeds up to 250 kilowatts, which can take the battery from 10 to 80% in about 35 minutes, which is good if you can find one. Personally, I wouldn't buy the iX M60. I just understand buying a performance SUV. I'll just get an iXM50. Has the most range. It packs enough power for your everyday needs. And I mean, the BMW X is already an expensive car. It goes up to 100,000 if you well spec it. This is gonna be even more expensive, and it's not worth it, to be honest. And this might not be everybody's favorite electric car. It's not the prettiest. And what I don't really like about the iXM60 is it just looks like the iXM50. There's not many cosmetic changes, and some people might like that, but I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. What's way more exciting though, but also very disappointing, is the new Toyota Gazoo Racing, the new Toyota Yaris GRMN, or the Toyota GRMN Yaris, because Toyota GR Yaris. Toyota released the new generation of the GRMN Yaris. GRMN basically stands for Gazoo Racing Masters of the Nürburgring. And if you've seen the new GR Yaris, well, not new, but before we had the GRMN Yaris, which, I don't know, it was limited edition, I believe. It had a supercharged 1.6 liter engine from Lotus, I believe. Packed about 212 horsepower and 280 newton meters. Then came the GR Yaris, the one we know today, with 261 horses, 370 newton meters, four-wheel drive, all that stuff. We know all the goodies about. And now Toyota makes a limited edition GRMN Yaris, which is crazier. Now, in terms of power, there's not many difference between the GRMN and the GR Yaris. I believe this packs about... there's a small power difference. But here we can get some images, so you can see this black one and this red one. Here you can see this is a bit tuned down version. Here you can get the performance package, which adds even more styling upgrades. So you get these forged wheels, BBS wheels. Here's the upgrades you can get. So instead of the matte covered carbon fiber roof you get on the normal GR Yaris, here you get a proper carbon fiber roof that's lacquered. You get this crazy wing roof spoiler, and you get a carbon fiber roof. On the inside, we get some Recaro seats. We don't have the infotainment screen. I'm basically say, wait, the gear lever looks like Alcantara. There we get a steering wheel which is covered in Alcantara here with a 12 o'clock mark, and a bit more Alcantara on the gear, on the handbrake lever, and we get removed seats, and we get a roll cage. Dials look a bit spiced up compared to the GRs, and you get suspension upgrades as well. Here we can see one in white, in black, from the behind, not black, gray, and we can see this crazy wing. And yeah, this is crazy, and it's the sad truth about this is Toyota is not going to sell it in Europe and anywhere else except Japan, which is very annoying. I'm pretty sure all the car enthusiasts would go right ahead and buy one. The GR Yaris on its own is good, but this is even crazier. With all those upgrades, I can't imagine how this car would be to drive. Obviously, I've never driven one, but a lot of reviewers have said it's a brilliant thing to drive. Can you imagine what the GRMN Yaris is going to be like with all those upgrades? Yeah, it's crazy, but unfortunately, Toyota doesn't sell it anywhere. It's Japan only. Well, oh well. I mean, if you want to import it to the US, what I've heard from, it costs $75,000 to import one. But it could be well worth it, because I'm pretty sure these will not depreciate. It's limited edition. It's only limited to 500, so it's quite rare. And these, I think, will not depreciate. It's like, it's going to become a future classic. Like, you know, the GDMs we all know, Toyota Supra, Nissan Skyline. This is the future of that. Subaru Impreza. So if you got 75 grand to import one from Japan, you might well do. I think this is a cool little hatchback, hot hatchback. Now, the only issue is it's going to be right-hand drive. So yeah, that's something to consider. And yeah, guys, we've covered all the news today. So obviously, I think it's been a pretty good round of news today. And thanks for listening. And I'll see you again in the next video or episode.